Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Black Psychologist Network, presented by, sponsored by, powered by the Black Psychologist Network, as we just talked. The Psychology of Love edition, where we discuss all things related to dating, relationships, marriage, divorce, etc. I am one half of your humble and gracious host, Dr. Kyle Osborne. He is I, and I am him. And I'm here with the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, the illustrious Dr. Jason Coleman. What's going on, good brother?
What's going on, man? Appreciate the introduction, man. Chilling. How's your week going?
Not bad, man. Beautiful weather. Beautiful weather this week. So absolutely getting some self-care in there, some walking around, outdoor activities. So it's pretty cool. How about yours?
It was good. It was good. But listen, it's not about me. We got a special guest. It's Hollywood Dr. Poole now. We ain't
Holly,
gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into that. But we all know why. We calling the Hollywood.
popular demand, backed by popular demand. North Carolina, throw your hands up.
Take your
Hey,
shirt off.
University Hall of Famer, a true sister in medicine, the star of the conversation with the Kennys, the legend herself, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ashley Poole. How are you, sister?
I am doing well. It is always a pleasure. Let me tell you, I had the longest day today. Like I've had a long week. And for some reason I got some energy now. I'm telling you, it's power. I changed my Zoom background to green for a different aesthetic look, but
Oh, let me change my
know,
background.
yeah, changing the color like that is really helpful. Like when you look at self-care and tuning into the five senses, how you mentioned self-care, like think of the five senses with self-care. So, massages, touch. They say it's good to change the screensaver on your, oh, that's beautiful, Jay. Like they say it's good to just change different things. Like you can actually change the color of the background of Zoom where we are, but all of those things work. So the color changed, but talking to you guys always fills my cup. So I'm excited. Y'all always have great topics for me to speak on, and I'm looking forward to tonight. And I will never be Hollywood, Hollywood.
I mean it in a good way.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
I
Now,
mean you getting
uh,
that Hollywood money this year. That's what I
ooh,
mean.
let's put it in the air. I'm claiming that,
Yeah.
and
Big, big,
I'm taking the team with me. So thank you
big.
guys for inviting me once again. I already told my girls, my sorority sisters, so they like, oh yeah, they ready to tap in. They said we do need to get to the point to where they can tap in live with us for a discussion because they says there's so much they want to say when they're listening that they would love to partake. But thank you
Yeah, we
guys.
got to try because listen, we've been saying that for a while, so we got to try that for the next time. We got to at least make an attempt to do it the next
All
time.
right. Well, we'll definitely put together like on a weekend type joint where everybody's schedules is cool, and we'll make that happen.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.
Disappoint the fans. Can't disappoint the fans and our supporters. So shout out to the sorority sisters. We appreciate their love and support and them watching, and everybody else that's been tapping in with us. So let's get right into it. All
Right.
right. First topic I wanted to bring to my esteemed panel. Have you, either yourself or maybe your partner, when you were dating, were you or your partner ever opposed to going someplace where either you had taken them before or they had taken someplace? Like, so if it was a restaurant, was there ever a situation where like your partner or whoever you were dating was like, oh, have you been to this place before? And if you told them, yeah, they were opposed to it. Like they were opposed. Oh, well, I don't want to go where you took someplace else, somebody else, or maybe you were opposed to going someplace where like whoever you were dating, they had maybe taken somebody else. Had either one of you experienced that? And if you have, I need to know your thoughts.
I
You want to
haven't
go first, Jay?
experienced that,
You have?
but no, but I'm not gonna disclose that information unless somebody directly asks me because I don't really think, unless you're really talking about a vacation destination, I don't really think it matters. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you don't have to like not go back to a certain restaurant because you're in a different relationship. It might be a good restaurant for a variety of reasons. You know what I'm saying? Or some people if they're dating, they might have like a first date restaurant, like a restaurant that's nice for a first date. You know, it's a good price, the ambiance is good, it's, you know, a good experience. So it might be a bunch of reasons why you go to the same place. Now, vacation to me is a little different because, you know, people usually, that's usually where they draw the line in the sand. Like you making memories, you know what I mean, with somebody else. So let's at least choose another place. So I can understand that, but not with something like a date or a restaurant, like a date idea, a restaurant.
How about you, Ash?
So I have had guys do that. Guys are territorial, like whether they want to admit it or not. They could be more territorial, and so they like, oh, you came here, and I like funny guys. So maybe they doing it to be facetious, to tell the full story. Maybe they just doing it to be funny, to be facetious, so they ain't really mean it. Now for me, I actually hope we go somewhere that you went with somebody else because my experience is gonna be even better. Like, so like, I ain't gonna say names. I'm gonna just say somebody I dated before. They went to
Trying to
Miami. They went to oh yeah, come on. They went to Miami with a female before. I was like, where y'all stay at? And he was like, I don't want to tell you because I'm a hotel snob. I'm like, where y'all stay? And so I was like, oh yeah, I think I stayed there like when I was 18, 20. So when we went, I'm always trying to one up. So like or show you a better experience and a better time. And usually I'm successful. So I actually welcome it. Now I won't ask, but if like I'm planning something and we going to do something, because I like you, Jay, I don't think, I mean, like, if you like steaks and Mastro's is the top steakhouse, like we gonna be going to Mastro's again. If you really
Right.
like seafood and Ocean Prime got your favorite seafood dish, like I mean, you kind of can't avoid it. And I think anybody that's like super adamant about that is probably petty, and that's gonna lead to other areas. So that would be a red flag for me.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty.
Me.
I've experienced that where and I like your angle, Ashley, in regards to the competitiveness, right? Like, yeah, like if you did go someplace with someone, like I'm trying to one up and make a better memory. But like I've experienced that where I'll get asked, like, oh yeah, we're getting ready to go to this spot, this restaurant, whatever, 5 star, whatever. Oh, we're getting ready to go to Ocean Prime. Let's go to whatever, right? Just an example. And I'll get the follow-up question. Oh, that's your first time going there? Or you been here before with somebody? First, depending on how the question is framed or posed, that's gonna absolutely impact the way I'm gonna answer. But
Are
it's
you gonna
like
lie? Would you lie about it?
the tone. If I don't like the tone, yeah, I gotta self like self-preservation, like a bug.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I don't see what the issue is. Like I'm with you. Like for me, like I don't care if she takes me if we're going someplace and she's been there before. If it's a good spot, it's a good spot. Like I'm
Right.
not like in a place where like, oh, well, it needs to be someplace where we can experience together. Like it that doesn't really change for me whether we're going someplace that you've been there before, or I've been there with someplace before. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if
So
it's like
when does it count then? What experience counts?
for me it doesn't. I don't care.
So if somebody says, yo, I did this same Valentine's Day for my ex last year.
I mean it's different if it's a gift, right? But if you're
No,
like,
no,
yeah,
I mean, they like, yo, he had a good time, so I brought him for a massage. I'm gonna bring you to the same place. He like Mastro's, so I'm gonna bring you to Mastro's. I bought
we're
him
gonna
a fitted. You like baseball too, so I'm gonna buy you the same fitted. You good?
I think I mean clothes are a little different, but I don't care about destinations or places. I don't care
So
about
they
That's
that.
can give you the
tripping
same
though.
exact date and you'll be
Tripping.
fine.
Cause why are you linking me
All
with
right.
them? Like, why are you saying that you want to take me there because this person enjoyed it? Like, no.
That's why I'm saying there has to with me it's different like if it's a good restaurant, right?
That's what I'm
But in that scenario I'm painting, that's a person like they ain't putting no thought into nothing. They just saying, well, you know what I'm
Oh, I've
saying?
been here. Oh yeah. So that's telling me something too.
if it's a cereal situation, right? Like if it's a cereal, like I'm always taking all of my chicks here. That's different than like this is a nice restaurant. Like I know what to expect. It's a good ambiance. So let's go here. I'm not saying that's the place that we're only going because that's the spot where I take all my Jones to. But it's like, hey, I know this place is familiar. Every now and then I'll take somebody. So I'm cool with that. Now it's different if like you're verbatim or whatever the case is, like you're buying me the same products, and that's a whole different situation
Yeah.
entirely.
Don't
For
try to
me,
recreate that with me.
yeah, I reenact everything. but but I'm cool.
Yeah,
Like
yo,
if
he
you
liked it, you know.
place, like if
Right.
you were to go, you've been there before.
And don't tell
Did you
me that.
go?
That's not gonna help me. That's not gonna get my stomach growling more. If you tell me, yeah, used to take, Sally here back in the day, and Sally loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they know you. Hey, Jay, what's going on? The usual table. If it's on that type of time, that's different. You know what I mean? Like, oh, another one. Hi, Jay. Like, we're not
Okay.
Okay, well that's the line. I ain't
I'm
mad
not
at that.
asking questions though. Like, I'm not asking if she's like, oh yeah, let's
Oh,
go to
me
this
neither.
restaurant. Yeah, like I'm not in Inspector Gadget where, oh yeah, did you take somebody here? Like, I'm not asking. Like, if it's a nice spot, it's a nice spot. But if
Mhm.
I said if they're a little familiar with with the staff and they're like, oh, your usual table for your date.
Okay. Or they saying, wow, you lost some weight since last time. And you like, my first time coming. You
They'd be
know.
like, oh, another one, twice this week, huh? Be like, yo,
You're back already.
word. Now we got problems.
Yeah,
Right.
I wanted to get your thoughts about that. All right, another one I want to throw at you. Do you believe in breaks in a relationship? So say whether it's like the continuous on or off, someone's taking breaks, or if someone were to be like in a relationship and say, hey, I'm not sure where this is kind of going. Why don't we take a break and let's see where it goes? Let's reconvene in a few weeks to see how things go with time apart. Do you guys believe in that? Are you advocates in that, or is it a hell no for y'all? What do you think?
I think
So
it depends on the situation because
exactly.
especially like if you're talking about a situation with kids or something like that, right? It might be a good thing. You might have to people might have to reflect on whatever is causing the conflict or the break might, you know, the kids might not be exposed to certain things that they might have otherwise. You know what I mean? So
Kids,
um
no kids in the situation, just dating. Like you
I
and your
mean,
lady.
but even that, like you could get to a point where you button heads to the point where it's explosive or whatever, and you need to part ways for a minute, So you got to throw a flag and take a time out, So I just think it depends on the circumstance. Now, obviously, if it becomes too frequent, then you probably want to look at, what are the major themes that keep occurring and whether that's even worth it. But
Hmm.
a lot of times, like how many times do we tell people in sessions, it's okay to like stop an argument. You don't have to talk about something when you don't want to, right? We tell them. So I just think that's, and why do we do that, right? We tell people that so they can stop and reflect on their behavior before they might go too far and have to apologize or something like that, right? So I don't
Hmm.
see the difference in a relationship, depending on circumstances.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because
What about
sometimes you need that break for you to realize, like, okay, this is abusive. Like, I'm out of here. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, Ash. I didn't use that.
Yeah. No, so I used to say that. Like that was my way out. I used to say, let's take a break. And one of my exes, like
you?
I think it was years later, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, yo, he said, you still be lying when you trying to end it. I said, what? He said, you always be like, look, let's just take a break, figure it out, see,
Oh, I remember
what
when
it
you
is that we want to
told me.
do. And
Mm.
he was like, he told me, he said, you never go back. Like he said, think about the time where you took a break. Never spinning the block. He was like,
Uh,
really think about it. And I had to think about it. And the answer, so for me, if I'm taking a break, likely that means I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like a job. Like if you go on vacation, you take a leave of absence, usually depending on what the leave of absence for, if it ain't related to health, usually that's your way out because I have pretty good problem solving skills. And if we're removing kids, because kids like I could talk about blended families for because I don't recommend blending families. Like if you can help it, and wait until your kids get older and they grown before you get like I would definitely recommend that. So if we removing kids, because Jay, like you said, that I could see that being a reason to take a break. Maybe we need to wait till your kid grow up. But outside of that, I don't see where people have taken breaks and it's been successful. Um, yeah, I haven't. Not to say that it's not good. So from a clinical standpoint, obviously, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, like they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder. So it could have some positive impact. But speaking personally, I've never taken a break from something and, went back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe there it really depends on intention, on especially on the individual that's kind of more of a proponent of the break. Because
Mm-hmm.
similar a lot of times, the person who's like, yeah, let's take a break really means that, hey, I want to take a break from this relationship because I want to see what else is out there. Because
Yeah.
if we're for analogy, right, you're similar to when you take a leave of absence from work. What are you doing in the meantime when you're on that leave of absence? You're looking for other gigs. And break, you're seeing what else is out there, and you're right. Like it's risky. It's very risky if you take a break. And I hope if you're on the other side of, well, you know what, I'm expecting to go back to this person. But if the person best believes, most likely is saying, hey, let's take a break and see how we feel, maybe a few months or whatever. Literally, that person is absolutely looking at other options. And guess what? Like if you spin the block, you're taking a chance that this person may not come back. If you're
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like they might find something else and it's risky. I feel like either, and I get it. Hey, if we need to kind of take some time away, maybe a day or two to kind of cool off, because we had a large argument, and we need to really recover and kind of see where things stand. But I feel like too much time, people are people, right? And people are going to seek comfort in other individuals, or they're going to get the attention. And guess what? They may see like, hey, you know what? Like, kind of like being over here. I like being moving the way I like to move better than this situation. It's very risky. So, and usually the person that wants to take the breaks, they're like, yeah, no, I'm good. You know, like
it's
yeah,
always a
we
possibility.
so we've seen situations where people, yeah, they let's take a break, and they thought the person was going to spin the block, and they never they spin the block, but just in a different neighborhood.
Right.
You know,
Jason, I do have a question for like if you're saying like what and for I guess really for both of y'all, what's the time frame for a break?
I don't know. It's hard to because you don't. I don't know I don't know the circumstances of the situation. You know.
So like let's say people that are wanting to figure out if this is something that they can do. Like let's say cuz that's usually the number one reason why people take a break because they want to figure out if this is something that I can continue to do, whether it's continue to deal with you and your badass kids, whether it's continue to deal with you and your cycle of I'm on my way to reach my full potential but financially I ain't really getting it. Is there like a baseline like anywhere from like 4 to 6 months? We can even give a range if it's too broad, but like just thoughts on what would be an ideal time frame if we were like operationally defining break.
I think sometimes with some people, I mean, I'll say for guys, right? I'll generally speak for guys. If we're saying, hey, let's take a break, it's kind of, we're kind of also feeling like, yeah, let's take a break, but we can still kind of feel connected. So maybe we can still do things, but there's no
Ex-
attachment, right? Kind of
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm kind of keeping you on the hook. Like I can still kind of tap in with you every now and then, but like we're not official. So we can still do our thing, but I'm free to roam,
right.
right? So I
But
said intention.
you don't even have to maintain what you're talking about. Like you don't have to maintain a connection with that person to do that.
You still want to listen. It depends on the situation. Because for me, sometimes a break is like, hey, there's an unspoken expectation that we're gonna come back around eventually, but we're not
Oh
like.
nah, that's but then
But
that's
Jason, you saying break up then? Like, what you describing sound like a breakup, Jason?
no, but on the other side, you describing it like it's a contract, like it's a
I mean,
lease. Like yo,
I mean,
like
if we're saying
Right.
let's take
nah,
a
it's all right,
break, let's take a
but
break.
yo, but the way y'all describing the world is like fantasy land, right? Because think about it, you're having a discussion about this. Obviously, if that's the situation, and there's a reason, right? So if the change takes 30 minutes, then how long is the break?
My thing.
If it takes 30 years, then how long is it? So what are
That's
we
why
talking about? That's why I said from the beginning it's going to depend on the circumstances. It's hard to say, oh, 3 weeks. because the
So
circumstances are gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely circumstantial. I can say for me, asking, I
you
answer your
got
question.
people that's like, yo, don't come back home until you stop drinking. So how
But see
long is
that
that gonna take?
that's different if it's like a safety issue or like a
But
substance.
that's why, but you're proving my point because from the beginning I said it depends on the circumstance. That's
All right,
why
so I would say no
it's
longer
hard to
than I
look
would
at.
say no longer than a year because if we apply clinical definitions, most diagnosis, right, mood disorders and such, if something has been present for 2 weeks, that's like it criteria for that. For children, you might need to see it a little bit longer, but now we talking about adults. Most conditions at max 30 days for certain conditions. When you start to talk about personality disorders, maybe the specifies severe and persistent. So I would say no longer than a year because by that time like when you start to look at biological needs for intimacy and sex, like I mean, if you've been having sex every day with your lover, now you going cold turkey for a whole year, or maybe it's variable. Like I would say a year. I would say a break longer than a year. If the person if has that much growth, then it may or may not, it may be impactful because
Now I'll ask you this question: how quickly do you think, if that's the time limit, then how quickly do you think it could happen? Change?
My thing is this also is the only way that I'm gonna realize or know that I want to see your growth or we can work things out for me. I'm just talking about me. Is not space. I'll figure out whether I want to be with you and we can work things out by me being with you. Because how am I supposed to like? Okay, it's cool to see. Oh, has this person changed? And I gave them 3, 4, 5 months or so. Or if it's like, hey, like to you, like you were asking Ashley earlier, how am I gonna know if I'm gonna be able to work things out with this person? Is the growth, is it worth it? I'm gonna do my risk aversion type of thing while I'm with you trying to work it out. Like a
hmm
break is not gonna help me solve. Oh yeah, you know what? I took some time apart. Yeah, I really do miss you. like no, like
Well,
yo,
I mean,
someone's
I get it, but I think like sometimes when we talk about stuff, like think about it, right? We've all done couples therapy, right?
Yeah.
And what if and we all been in school, and in the real world, we know some people before they go to couples therapy, what do they got to do first? Individual therapy, right?
hmm
Because together, what is something's happening there? You know what I'm saying? And they can't figure that out in the same room with you. So that's why I said
but
I'm not saying you wrong, but it's not as black and white as sometimes we paint it
Correct.
because we looking at
but
it
even
through the lens of our relationship. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean,
so
but even
I
that,
understand that, but when we start looking at like people's lives in the real world, there's a lot of layers and there's a lot of shit involved, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of reasons why people break up and get back together and everything in between. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said it's hard to say. That's why my question to you was, okay, well, how quickly can somebody change, right? Because if the person that you had the issue with, if you threw them out and then 5 minutes later they knocked on your door and they said, "Oh, I changed, let me back in." Y'all would
yeah,
both
and
call
that's
bullshit. You understand what I'm saying?
I
But
mean,
on the other end, there's a hard cap. So, but there's not really a reason. It's just
Well,
like, oh,
it
well,
depends.
that's the
Yeah, like you
reason.
said, so we'll say variable. So I would say no less than 2 weeks and no more than 1 year. Like if that's a large range of things because it's based on things. Like if you a cheater and you can't stop paying these OnlyFans girls,
Yeah.
then you probably can step outside and step back in and it be okay. And also too, age is relevant. So if it is something that's gonna take you longer than a year, bruh, if I was single, bye.
yeah.
I ain't got
But
time for
if
that. Like
okay,
I don't.
so I think infidelity is a good example, right? Because okay, so remove your immediate partner out of your mind, right? Because we're talking about person B in another life, so it's not
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
right. Like, how long is that person out? It ain't 2 weeks. I've changed now. I'm no longer whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
And
I
I
ain't leaving you because you are changing. Like, right, I'm gonna stay with you. I've stayed with cheaters. Like, I mean, I don't know what kind of guys I like. Like I always say I like sharks, you know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
what I used to say I like. And with sharks, when they smell blood, they start, so
So you got no problem with it. So that's fine. I don't.
I did have a problem with it. It's just that I expected that it may happen. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say you have a child the executive functioning ain't on 10. You ain't expecting they're gonna be clumsy and drop everything, but you are saying, like, I mean, if they got their shoes a little bit dirty or if they didn't do their homework, it's certain things that you associate with that level of development. So with certain type of men and women, like if you got with a gold digger, you might
Mhm.
expect that this woman wants you to take her to steak 48 and she don't want to do the 2 for 2 at Ruby Tuesday. So I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, it's certain things that you may not accept, but you understand could be a circumstance. And so, like, even if a guy was a serial cheater, most of the time, like, there was this clip somebody sent me recently, and it's Shaq on a podcast, and he's talking about like different types of cheaters. And one of the type of cheaters he said was the James Bond cheater. And he said this the type of dude that, he kind of smooth with it. He do what he need to do. So I can say most of the time when I found out a guy was cheating, it was because I was looking for it. It wasn't, I have had girls call me, come to me as a woman, but that wasn't like all of what it was. But I'm gonna stay with you while you get it together. And you got one time, and this time you got one time period again for me to figure it out, for me to see that. And
All
it's
right, so what's the time? How long is it though?
Here's the thing, Jason. I think you have to think about we're talking about
Or how
change.
much? How long do you have though? Actually, how you still ain't answered the top. The question is the time frame.
I
How
better
long?
not find nothing, period. I better not find nothing, period.
Guess
Like,
what you like? If you're gonna give a time period, what does change look like to you? Right? Like, what does this person demonstrate that looks like change? Even we're talking about infidelity, like your example. How do we know the person has changed? Oh, by we're going based off the actions. Like, 'cause how do you demonstrate? Hey, I'm not with anybody. I promise. With infidelity, you have to go based off this faith and trust. Like, they're not going to be able to demonstrate anything that says,
so
"Hey,
Yeah,
I'm not going to cheat."
but with
I
most
think there
things, it's
are
going to
some
be based
things.
off trust.
Yeah, I
It
think
could be
there are.
lifestyle changes. It could be stop smoking cigarettes in the bathroom or in the morning. It could be, I want
Depends.
you to bring me
Like,
flowers. But you
that's
got
the
to
thing.
trust that the
How
person
do you?
has changed.
Because I think however you quantify that change, that's going to be how you're able to maybe put a time specific
Yes.
measurement on it. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm basing it off this. That's just how I'm going to quantify. So this is going to lead to how much time I'm going to give you for this measurement of change.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, let me get to another drink for you guys. Good, good. I like the combo. All right. So there was a story on social media that a boyfriend at her at his girl's birthday party, right? He
Oh,
put on the birthday cake. He surprised her. Best punani ever on the birthday cake.
Mm.
Best punani ever at the birthday cake. As a joke or whatever. But either way, it was still the birthday cake for her party. Now again, they're adults. They're like 27, 28. Now also the girl's family was there. Like her father was there. Girl's dad, he was present. He was upset. He left the party, walked out, and then texted his daughter later on, or the daughter texted him like, "Hey, why'd you leave?" Blah 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 blah. So I wanted to get your take on that. Like, you think it's appropriate, not appropriate? Thoughts? If you were a parent, like, how would you feel? Like, best pee ever on the birthday cake. Now the daughter didn't have a problem with it, but dad did, clearly.
that is.
Dad walked out.
The
So
parent question is the easier question, I think. Like, as a parent, I would feel some type of way. I mean,
he was
wouldn't
appropriate.
matter how old my daughter is or whatever. I would either feel some type of way that I'm seeing that or that I was invited. I wasn't not invited.
Right.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So the parent question to me is the easier one to answer because of course I would feel some type of way. I don't even know that I would be offended as well. The offense, I don't know, it wouldn't be about the words used. It would just be about like, okay, the same way like I know teenagers curse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would expect my kids to respect me enough where if one of their kid friends is about to curse, or they like dad right there, right?
Right.
Meaning like, yo, we know it's an adult around, we're gonna speak how we speak when it's just us. And I look at this situation kind of the same, but I'll leave.
Yeah. I'll say and lead as a dad and a psychologist. Um, One, I think it's a respect issue, right? Like, I get like your kid is older, she's a full fledged adult, she's in relationships, whatever the case is. But like, I don't need to know that that's how she's rolling or whatever's going on. Like, I don't need to know about that part of her life. Now, I don't know for me and my daughter, we have a great relationship and we have a great sense of humor and so on and so forth. Like, great relationship with her friends and all. So I also know that like I'm not gonna walk out or leave the party. I'm gonna feel a certain type of way, right? And I'll probably let her know I'm not gonna be like the life of the party and like turn it out because of what I saw. But I feel like there is a respect issue that I would hope that the boyfriend, whoever else, has for like for me,
Oh, he
right?
ain't
Like
got
if
no
you,
respect for you, yo, doing that.
that's what I'm saying. So that's the respect issue. Now I'm also thinking maybe because they said the girl was 27. I'm thinking also because there clearly is a generation gap or distinction between mom, dad and the kid. At 27, 28, if that's what you're putting on the birthday cake, and I get it, ha ha, it's funny, you might want to think about having separate birthday parties because it might be maybe you have a birthday party which is you and your girlfriend and your boyfriend, like y'all cool, y'all turn it up and everything, and then you have a separate party for the older adults in the room, like the parents, the aunts, the uncles, mom and dad, and so on and so forth. So we're not privy to that because I don't want to see that birthday cake. I'm not eating a slice of that cake. I'm not doing anything remotely close to that cake if I'm dad. So I understand how dad feels. I'm not walking out, but I'm feeling a certain type of way because I feel like it's disrespectful, and I'm also looking at him kind of differently. Like I'm judging the hell out the boyfriend, or something like that. Especially if you know I'm gonna be there. What are
Mm-hmm.
we doing? You see
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that I agree with that. So obviously as a parent, yeah, I would just kind of be like, I wouldn't leave. Again, I would be like side eye and I would have a conversation with my daughter afterwards, like, dang, that's something he should have had waiting at home when you got home. That's kind of inappropriate, and I would have a conversation with him too. Cause I mean, if you dating my child, I can have that conversation. Now, yeah, for me, I probably once I saw it wouldn't have shown it to like everybody. But now we live in the days of everybody wants to go viral, everything is content. So, with that being said, we definitely see, sometimes with social media, I don't even know like was the dad really upset and he walked out or was it scripted? Like, I mean, it's so I
Yeah,
haven't
you're right
seen it.
about that.
I haven't seen
That's
it yet, but I do know that that's the era that that we're living in now. Which I think that segues kind of to in the next topic you're gonna address, just about like cult pop, like just the culture that we're in right now, and how everything is for shock value. So yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable because where I'm gonna post the pictures at. Like I like the shows, like I want to be able to show my whole birthday celebration and posting that on my social, like nah, like you ain't gotta get my exes mad and remind them about me, baby. Like
and I yeah again, it's,
not
it's
in that way.
distasteful. I'm definitely having a with the boyfriend. And again, I have a very wide range sense of humor. Like I love to laugh, but that if you know I'm gonna be there, yeah, like bro, that's the cake for later on, or a separate party, or after we leave, maybe after the mom and dad and the aunts and uncles and grandma and everybody leave. Cool,
Yeah,
bring that out. All right,
Right.
I'll turn it up. I don't need to see that.
yeah.
Next one. Who's seen the Pop the Balloon show? Who's seen it? Jay, you seen it?
I haven't, I saw it on like when it was like on your phone, like clips.
Like that's
I
what I
haven't
mean.
seen it on Netflix yet.
Like, but you've seen it overall, right? You've seen like clips
Oh
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
Concept
Okay,
of
all
it
right.
too. Me too.
Okay.
Same boat. I haven't seen it on Netflix. One of my so the girl that did my hair has, and she kind of told me her thoughts on a Netflix version. So I do want to watch it, but
I'm
yeah,
not. Yeah, I'm not even really on the Netflix version, but just the show itself. What are your thoughts on the show? And would you go on the show? Why or why not? So thoughts on what are your thoughts on the show just overall? Just like not the Netflix joint, the regular version. What do we think?
you
And
want
I
to go
think it,
there?
well, go ahead. You want to go first?
No, you can go
Ash,
ahead.
ladies
Okay.
first. Got you.
So I hate it. I hate the show. I hate it. And like it's so many different versions of it. Like it's the one with the original girl, I think Arnetta, whatever her name is. I think that was the first one. And people have I've never seen an episode that I thought was helpful or productive. I think it's the worst, one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life in terms of dating. And I'll tell you why. I think that they put people in a position to be humiliated. And I think that that type of show only needs to be hosted by someone who has good interview skills. They can ask questions that will incite dialogue and not create a space for compla rips. So after the person pops their balloon, okay, they popped it because they ain't like them. Now they're gonna dig deep into people who weren't prepped to be on the show, so they don't even have the language to further expound upon things. Like an example, oh, why'd you pop your balloon? So let's say one person popped, one person did, but why'd you pop your balloon? Oh, she wasn't my type. Oh, well, that ain't enough. Oh, well, what make her not your type? Oh, I'm not really a fan of her style. Oh, well, when you say her style, what do you mean? Now he's saying, oh, well, she ain't got no makeup on, and I like girls that, got on name brand shoes. And really, when I think about it, her toes ain't done and she got hair on her arms. So basically, you put this person in a position to dig heels deeper to say some stuff like that is disgusting. And then the person that don't have a balloon pop is like, oh, so why did you leave yours pop? Well, I wanted to hear more of what he's saying. But that question of like why you don't like this person, why aren't they your type? That is a space for just negativity. And the host never does anything to try to give people a menu of things that would be appropriate. Like, okay, so when you say style, like this outfit isn't, well, is this something somebody that you would like? And naturally people want to save face. So it's too much behavior going on for a person that's not trained in anything with me. I'm like, even a case manager could probably do a better job at hosting it. So now it's solely for entertainment. And I just hate that for us because we got enough spaces where it's solely for entertainment. I really wish there was a space where people were really gonna find love or really supported dating, like shows like, y'all remember MTV Singled Out, or like stuff like shows like that used to come on. It was dating shows that members, that are members of the majority, they gonna have like one media consultant or publicist or somebody in here that's gonna make sure what we're doing is somewhere in the goal orientation. But for me, Pop the Balloon is only a platform to rip people to shreds and to critique people for what they look like, and how they shouldn't be looking for what they looking for. That's my thought.
Yeah. Yes. For me, it's a situation where it's a breeding ground for individuals to be antagonized and defensiveness, because you're asking them not even about like, okay, what's important to like values. And I get it. Like, okay, at first glance, we're all looking at somebody in regards like their physical attributes, right? Like we're all thinking about whether they're attractive or not, or the different things. But just the manner of how like the sheer superficialness of how people are being dismissed on the show. Oh, I don't like his haircut. I don't like, and that, what, when I wear heels, I'm this height, and he's only a little bit taller than me. That's why I pop my balloon. But you look nice though. You look nice. I like it. Get like, and then the person is gonna get defensive, like immediately. Each person gets defensive, and this is how you see these viral moments, and it just breeds a situation where individuals are now gonna engage in this back and forth, and now it turns into like a dirty dozens type of situation because you have some folks that don't have the bandwidth to kind of receive whatever type of criticism, whether it's genuine or it's just some people that are just going in on folks, and then now folks are just throwing digs at each other. So, like, yeah, while some things might be entertaining, it's unfortunate because, like you mentioned, the host doesn't do anything to like de-escalate the situation or diffuse or anything else. It's just like constant. Then the balloons are popping while the person's talking, and like it just turns into a mess. So, it's not a very positive oriented like dating show where someone's really trying to not find love but like find a mate, because it's like very dismissive in nature.
Well, what's the question, right? Because the purpose of that show is not for anybody on there to find a mate. It's to generate content. It does a wonderful job in creating content and making stars out of regular people, aka Aaron the plumber, right? We know him now, right?
Yeah,
That's the
that guy.
point. Like I'm just being honest. Like that show was never meant to put people together based on values that aren't superficial. You're popping your balloon based off somebody, how they look, how they presenting themselves, right? And yo, like I don't disagree with nothing y'all say, but from the beginning, these people are volunteering to be judged by each other and to judge each other for one reason, because they want social media fame. They
Right.
don't want a relationship. So for us to approach this conversation from the standpoint of they're being exploited, right? And
Oh
appropriate
no, I don't think they're being exploited. I don't.
because again, remember, number one, this is voluntary, right?
For sure, for sure.
Right. So the fact that they're getting rated on physical characteristics, there's an argument that like that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? And when we see people in clubs, when we see them in lounges, when we those conversations are 2, 3, 4 minutes. You know, you ain't learning about nobody's values in there. You're seeing if you like somebody's style, energy, you can
But
call
it's
it
not being
whatever you want.
exploited. It's not being advertised
Right.
for
And
people
so my
so
point
you're
is
less
if
motivated to
if
be
they
antagonistic, right?
but if they're not being exploited, but my point is the fact that they're insulting each other to me is irrelevant because the whole reason why they're insulting each other is because they want to go viral. They don't care about the other person
So then
because
that's
there's no
what
personal connection. They want to go viral, right? Because they've all seen Aaron the Plumber's fame and other people's fame, and they want it for themselves.
so
So they're
then it should be
taking the
called
shot.
something like baddies, or it should be called, compla rip. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think we're we're
Yeah, it's
we're
called,
we're
but it's
we're
called
essentially
pop the
saying the same
balloon.
thing, or
It's
find love. It's called pop the balloon or find love. We're essentially saying the same thing. We're just talking about we're just talking from different angles.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what
I
I'm
don't
saying is they're
disagree with what y'all
advertising it as
saying.
a show. And I don't think that everybody, because there is one that this black guy does, and I don't know if he's in character or who he is, but he does it for like older adults. And
Yeah.
so I don't know that like I said, it's so many with different hosts. I'm sure like if we hosted one, it'd be a totally different outcome. So I don't think that people are necessarily, I think the majority of people are signing up to go viral, but I do think some people are like, well, shoot, I might go up
Have you
there to
seen?
find
I've never
love.
seen. I'm not even trolling. Like I've never seen anybody get together. I've seen
No,
the
okay.
two setups. I've seen people pop the balloon and talk shit to each other, right? And then I've seen the other setup. I don't know if it's the same people, but where you have somebody like Lil Boosie and somebody else standing there and they're literally just talking slick to the girls as they walk up with the microphone. I've
No,
seen
that's
the
that's
two scenarios. That's not pop the balloon, but it's a similar type of thing.
and
So
listen, situations where people do match up. Like the episode that Aaron the plumber that he blew up on, he matched with one of the girls. Like
he
that was
matched
at
with
the
one of the girls.
yeah, he matched up with one of the girls. Like after he got done, like they were ripping each other back and forth. Like he did match with one of the girls there, whatever.
That's what
So
I'm saying. It's all, they all trying to go viral. Like,
it was
you
just
know,
again, it just highlights what I don't like also is that it puts both genders kind of in a bad look, and because it makes them feel or look so superficial where they're just like, oh, well, I don't like the dude. They introduce whatever the person, the man or the girl. Hey, how old you are, what you do for a living, X, Y, and Z, and then you have them like you're parading them down a line of folks, and some folks are like popping the balloon. And again, everybody has the right, everybody has a preference, but I feel
yeah,
like a situation where they'd be like very dismissive. Yeah, like you're good, you're smart, like I like you, you're very well spoken, blah 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 blah. Blah. Yeah, but I don't like your shoes. Shoes you
yeah. They
got
be like,
on,
I don't like dreads,
I don't
or
know,
his
they don't do
pants
it,
too tight.
right? And I get it.
But it goes
Yeah,
both
like
ways, though.
So
Like
so so let me highlight a point though, Jason, because as we continue to narrate, like I said, we're all saying the same thing. We're saying it from different angles. I'm speaking from the perspective of the viewer. You're speaking from the perspective of the participant, Jason. So what I'm saying is that the general public, right, this viewing this, they're looking at it because not everybody has this higher order thinking and operationally defining. The average American viewing it believes that they are viewing a dating show. We know that people are doing it to go viral. We know that people aren't being exploited. We know these things. But what I'm saying is the danger in that show is that the general public that's viewing believes that they are viewing a space where people are trying to find love, and this is what it looks like. So it reinforces some of the stereotypes that are already a part of different cultures. So whether it's an age culture, whether it's a racial culture, whether it's a socioeconomic status culture, that's what it's doing. And I believe that like I don't think that one of the surgeons that went up there, I don't think he went up there to go viral. There are a couple people up there that I don't think they went up there to go viral. I think that they had the thought like the general public and their friend, like, yo, pop the balloon is coming here, you should go. It's just kind of like a place that, let's say that there's a traveling food truck or restaurant that you go eat at it, you get food poisoning. And then you get food poisoning, you get to go on TikTok and say, yeah, I got sick too from this place. Well, it's some people that go there and they do have a good experience. And I just think that the danger is saying that you're promoting a luxury food experience when what you're doing is you're creating a space for people to get food poison and to go on TikTok to become viral to say how sick you got them. So you're speaking from the lens of the participants. I'm not. I'm speaking solely from the lens of it's on Netflix now. So that 14-year-old girl that's watching it and now sees that this is how I talk to men. The same way we criticize rap music, the same way we criticize like violent movies, to me, Pop the Balloon is also in that lane, even though the actor signed up for it and the people that's doing
Yeah.
this signed up for it. I'm talking from the viewer lens of things. I think it's completely
Yo,
dangerous.
but the one problem I have with that argument is that we are in the era of reality television. So it's like saying that to me is like saying that the majority, because I that's the one thing I don't agree with. I don't think the majority of the viewers view it thinking it's a dating show. I think the majority of viewers are first of all looking at clips on their phone, and second, I would be I would be surprised if they even watch the whole show. They're watching the moments that are exciting, right? That's what our society is now. It's things that are spliced in the clips. That's why certain like platforms don't even exist no more, because people don't watch whole shows no more. And my thing, the reason why I don't agree with that perspective is I respect it, but the reason why I don't agree with it is because to me, it's like saying like I don't believe anybody that went on Flavor of Love, the show with Ray J, all of these shows. I don't believe any of those people were looking for love. I think they all wanted to be reality stars. That's just my perspective, and I feel the same way about all of these people. You could show me the one person, but we all know for every one clip that we see of a person getting together, we see 10 of people up there fighting, throwing insults at each other, and are obviously up there trying to have their Aaron the plumber moment from what I see. And I've seen it for show after show after show that where they're dating, you know what I mean, for a decade. So I don't believe that somebody who honestly wants love is going to go on a reality show. You know what I mean? They might find a matchmaker. They might go to speed dating, but to go on a reality show and really think that you're gonna fall in love with Flavor Flav or Ray J, to me is the same probability that you're gonna fall in love with the guy holding the microphone when there's six other women that are standing there. So to me, it's more likely than not that these people want reality fame and a career than that they really want love, to me. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't believe them, because I put them in the same basket as Ray J and Flavor of Love and all of that.
I mean, I think there's a percentage of both. Probably, again, many more people are probably thinking of, yeah, I can get on there, maybe catch a lick or something. But again, we have to understand that there is a population of individuals that really are looking, right? Because we've heard frustration from men and women that, oh, I can't find a partner, I can't find something. People have taken and gone through extreme measures to find someone, whether it be on dating apps, whether it be going on like and I know, especially women, because of the numbers. Just we're talking about a ratio. You're going through different measures of trying to find people, like extreme measures that don't make a lot of sense that we think. But I feel like, yeah, I think you are right in the sense that yes, maybe the majority of people, yeah, it's for entertainment. It's a situation where, yeah, I maybe go on the show, I can maybe go viral, whatever the case is, and be hot for 15 minutes. But there are some people that are going on, male and female, that are looking like, hey, maybe I can find somebody through this, right? Whatever. Now,
Yeah,
the
I
question
don't
I
I
have
don't
for you
doubt I don't doubt that, because it's like I said, I don't have no evidence. It's just a guess. You know what I'm saying?
now, would either one of you go on the show?
I would have nah, that would have been 20 years ago. I would have went on there. I'm
I
old.
would not
20
even
years?
not even 20 years ago, not no day, not no time, ever. I would never go on that show because to me, I don't want to go viral that way.
Oh no, yeah, I'm going on. I'm going on the show.
Would
I'm
y'all
going.
be would y'all be going back and forth with the contestants?
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
because
I would, because I know what my insult would probably be.
my cognitive dissonance is going to kick, right?
What? Jason?
I
Yeah.
know what they would probably say to me if they was rejected me.
Oh, okay.
Not like I know what I would say to them.
Oh, I thought you had like a big joker for all women or something. I'm like,
No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like certain things like certain women like or they don't like, right? Like
Right.
I got long hair and Kyle got no hair and a goatee, right? So certain women that's gonna be hit there, they're gonna like his profile, and some might like mine, right? So I was just talking about stuff like that. Like I would know what
Mhm.
I think I would know what they would either be like, yay or nay.
Exactly. As soon as I walk in, you know what I mean? Because I'm short, they're gonna absolutely pop, 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 like it's going in. So, so,
But I mean, listen, I would get that too. I'm average height. I would get that too
so you gotta kind of know, be prepared, and
from
you
some
gotta
people. Yeah.
acceptance actually when you walk into situations like that and be prepared because my cognitive dissonance is going to kick in because even if I'm interested in you, the fact that you don't like me, now I don't like you. So now
And
it's just,
that's what I was about to say. And I'm tall, so I got the opposite thing going on. I'm tall, like, and the one person got a second to call me something. And see, I'm going in because see, I'm petty, and I know
man,
me. I'm the type. I'm not
Yo,
confrontational, but I am petty. So, like, when you start talking, I'll probably have my phone and be looking up your mother right then and saying, "Wow, you pretty picky for this to be your
yo,
mom."
you took it right there. Damn.
listen, I'm not even doing that.
saying.
Listen,
I'm just saying. You grew up with this woman, with a woman
Yo,
that looked
but
like this, and now
it's
you got
crazy
a nerve to
though.
come up here and be telling me something about ABC. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Move on. Continue to insult me, but I am saying for that to be how your mama look. I'm surprised this is your preference.
You you know what I
what
think?
what do we get paid to do? We get paid to talk, right? And so if you don't think that if you rip on me that I'm not going to use these here degrees in education that we have to, I'm going to undress you in a
Oh,
Listen,
very
look at this
articulated
dude.
okay,
listen
I'm surprised you made it here, okay, because I could tell with them classes with them cognitive distortions that you
Yo, y'all are foul.
about that you
lower you
Yo,
know
I
what, I'm gonna
think
diagnose you right now with your lower intellectual function. I bet your IQ is one standard deviation below the mean, okay? Like,
I'm gonna tell
went
you
from
this.
maybe 68 to 64
I'm
right, okay.
surprised
Braille
that
You
IQ.
barely
I'm
you barely
surprised
can write your name, couldn't you?
that it's dudes on there that lose their patience because
I would
as a
have fun.
man, like the thing
I'm having
about women is like you see how he just said that? Like
I'm having
women will tell you why they don't, why you're not their type. They'll tell
oh,
you.
I would have a blast. I would
You know
have
what
a
I'm
blast.
saying? So as a man, you should be used to that, especially if you're of a certain age, because if you've approached women, they're gonna tell you, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't like men with hair. Oh, I don't like men shorter than me. Oh, I don't like brown skinned men. Oh, I don't like men with light eyes. They're gonna tell you all of that. I don't like men that wear sneakers. I don't like men with dirty sneakers. Women got all kinds of different things, you know what I mean? So and they'll tell you, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
some men
I
will ask, well, I ain't your type, and they'll tell you, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
gotta reach.
surprised that so many dudes on there have thin skin when the women do say certain things like that, because I would expect it if I went on there.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna point out inconsistencies in their statements because a lot of them do misspeak
Y'all
and
went
they.
straight to the cognitive uh
Oh yeah,
abilities.
Because
Y'all
self
went
that's
straight for
preservation.
the jugular.
because for you to insult me like that, I know you got some cognitive disabilities.
Oh my
Because
God,
I ain't because for you to come at me like
I
that and be
can't.
talking about how tall I am and how this it might not even be my real hair, like boy, I came ready with the ammo to like you right. All of those things are true, and what's also true is hold up,
That's,
wait a minute, yo, I was finished.
that's
While
terrible.
we was talking about stuff, you.
This
I
is
can tell
terrible,
you
yo.
still struggling with executive functioning. What you do, like, listen, and
Y'all
our
shouldn't go on that show.
Let's talk about these
Neither
traits that
one of y'all. You
I
should
feel
host it.
like. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a blast. Speaking of which, last joint. Speaking of which, now does ever for either one of you does being a psychologist ever spill into your relationship in any form or fashion? Like, do you end up like sometimes when you're interacting, or even if you're like talking or arguing or whatever the case with your partner, like, do you start to like, as my daughter would say, sometimes I therapize her, right? Like, I'll just
mm,
sometimes I fall into that, like, in any form of way. Does being a psychologist and what we do for a living does that spill into your relationship? Now, Jay, I don't know what that means. I see.
Oh, my
My
bad.
bad.
What'd you say?
go ahead.
Nah, 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 nah. I got distracted for like 2 seconds. Oh, you mean like, does it interfere? Okay.
Yeah,
I
interfere or
think
like just you're like what we do does it like
I
spill into the
well, I
relationship? Like
kind of looked at it from a different perspective. Like, yo, obviously we always gonna be like have a certain view, like notice things in terms of behavior. Not that you analyzing behavior, but you're gonna notice certain things, right? But I always tell people I like I'm not for number one, I'm not a psychoanalytic
right.
psychologist. Two, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I get paid very well to do what I do at work. You know what I'm saying? And when I get off work, I don't want to do it no more. And I'm damn sure not doing it for free. So, and you can't if you got to be a fool to think that you can be a psychologist in your relationship. You know what I mean? Or in your like familial interactions, like it'll be a disaster,
Mm.
because the things that work with your patients are not going to work with your kids and your brother and your mother. They got inside information and y'all have a different dynamic. So it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna start talking to them about professional stuff, and they're gonna talk to you about what happened when you was 8. You know what I'm saying? Like my family does to me. They're like, yo, how are you gonna teach them how to control your anger when you couldn't control this when you were this age,
Mhm.
Mm.
right? Because family has, they got the inside information, right? That's why we don't treat them. So, you know, I think it's a disaster. It's a bad idea. But
How
if
about you, Ash? Does the spillover, does Dr. Poole spill into the relationship?
So to me, it's a part of me because it's how I think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know when I'm engaging in the thinking error. I know when my tone is probably offensive. And so, um, Munir doesn't like when I talk to him professionally. So he doesn't like, because see, when
Are
I,
you
so so he calls it like putting on that voice, like he hates it because he says it's like I'm trying to make him feel stupid. Like when I'm not using any clinical jargon, it's just the way that I'm pronouncing things, the
mm,
speed that I'm doing it. That really pisses him off. And this is an example of me saying, "Hey, did you
Mhm.
understand he hated? He be ready to kill me over that." Like,
Yo,
so
what you just did, yeah, yeah. But you
yeah,
know
it's
what
what I just did,
I
you know.
think
So that's that
you
exactly.
go
Now
in the
my mom,
professor
same
mode.
way. All my people, right? He like, yo, why are you talking to me? So I'm like, I'm just making sure we're on the same page and then everything. He hated. So to me, I'm using a therapeutic technique for communication. No, he don't like that. And my mom, because see, here's the thing: when you know better, you do better. If you talking to somebody that's like crashing out, it's hard to not redirect the crash out. You know what I'm saying? Like amongst your peers. So like I don't think we can escape it. I think that people need to be thankful that we have that tool because to me we can always de-escalate it. You know, like my mom, she be, sometimes I'm either quiet or me. And when you get me, you gonna get some of the feedback that I know. That's just like if we were personal trainers and somebody trying to lose weight and they like, I did everything. Like you gonna kind of talk to them and be like, yo, your diet trash, like you can't not say that when they're mentioning certain things. And a lot of times in our conversations, behavior is so relevant to everything that's where we find ourselves. So yeah, I know it does, but it's crazy because my mother sent me something about rumination today. Like when I learned that word in the program, I've been like, her, and my grandma being five, like, y'all, I'm about to hang up, y'all ruminating. And so now, like, that's a little family inside joke where they be like, "Oh, can we ruminate? Can we get a little time to ruminate, Ash?" So, they hold on to some of those things.
for me, I feel like I've gotten the opposite end of the spectrum where it's been expected that I should be more in tune and more aware because I am a psychologist. So I feel like the expectations are placed. And I'm like you, Jason, like, listen, when I'm not practicing, I'm like to the wayside. Like, of course, like you said, observers. We can't turn off being how vigilant we are because we are trained observers, right? So in certain
Right.
behaviors, other things, we're gonna pick that up. But a lot of times when I come home, like my listening and communication skills kind of are like
Yeah.
extremely like I'm not on anymore. So I've gotten hit with the, oh well, you should know as a psychologist you should be able to do this or you should be able to be more in tune or you should be more aware of X Y and Z. And I'm like no I shouldn't. I mean, maybe on a regular basic level, of course, like in a relationship I should be, but not, I shouldn't be anymore because of my profession and how I'm trained. Like, no, that's at work. That's in the car. Like when I get out the car, boundaries, so I try my best not to like use like the jargon, but it comes out, right? Like you said, it seeps out. We're very highly educated, so the words, they come out sometimes in how we just describing things. But like I've gotten the expectation that I should be. I've even been hit with like, oh, I hope you don't treat your patients like this the same way you treat them. Like, and it's like, no, like I'm not going to be a psychologist or a therapist in my relationship. Like it's one, like you said, you don't recommend it because like it's just poor self assessment, and how you're seeing things is going to be very biased. And then two, like I don't have the energy for it. I don't like, so I give the expectation. I feel like it's been placed on me that I should be like a better partner. Or there's certain things that I should be more well versed in relationship land and as those things go because of what I do. So that's what I've experienced.
Yo, show me a person that wants to do their job all day long, and I will show you a crazy person. We shouldn't use that word. I will show you a
We can use crazy.
dysregulated, unstable person.
Yeah.
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 Now
It's
that
a
is
lot.
interesting, Kyle, because I would be expecting you, my friend, if something is your expertise and you hear me talking about it, you better tap in. Like if you know about hair growth and I'm trying to grow hair or I'm trying to juice and lose weight, you better share that expertise with me.
And I know some people, like some of our, not all of our friends, but some people that we know will try to slide in and get like a free session type of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, now I have felt like that. I have felt like that. I have
Then
felt like
people will be like, "Yeah, yo, you know what? I just wanted to talk to you." I'm like, bro,
They're trying to get a free session.
right? Like you, my bro, wanted to get your take on this, and I don't think you're doing it like in a malicious way, but and I'm happy to give out information. Like that's part of our job, what we do. Like if somebody is struggling, I say, hey, but I'm not just giving out like recommendations. I'm not gonna always insert myself and like be super psychologist and start just when I hear an argument, I'm gonna insert myself and be like, well, man, if you're really thinking about it from this particular angle, and if you're thinking about the healthy sort of communication would be really helpful. And like I'm not doing that, right? Like I'm not. But if it warrants that, it's a situation, yes. But yeah, I think some folks sometimes will try to get like that, they'll get big up that conversation, and all of a sudden and then also even in dating, like a lot of times I didn't even tell people what I did for a living, right? Because I don't want them to, again, automatic, oh my God, you know what? Like this has been happening. I've been real anxious about such and such. Like, no, we're not doing that at dinner. Like if we're going out, like, I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm not gonna be your therapist and your boyfriend or your partner or whatever, just because that'll happen. Jay, I know. Listen, tell me you haven't experienced it where if you tell somebody they find out you're a psychologist, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, that is so good. Listen, my
Yeah,
girl,
let me
and then
dump all my stuff on you.
yeah, like so. Actually, don't tell me you've had that.
Let's
Like,
listen.
I'm therapist, and that's really good. Because this happened, or they'll be like, oh, well, my friend is doing such and such. What do you think that is? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Cool, like every but like it's not gonna be the we're gonna full turn this into a full blown session. And what do I think of this such and such? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I
Yeah.
just want to throw it out there, y'all. But anything else before we move out of here?
No, this was good. Like I said, we got to get back again to because it was a conversation about that we had off live for everyone, just to get everybody thinking about it. Just like relationships and friendships and like controlling natures, and to what extent is removing like a relationship, a friendship worth the relationship. So stuff to stay tuned topics that I think we'll have, and by then it'll be more. If we had more time, I would want to touch on that Shannon Sharp stuff, but we'll figure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
we'll
of
talk about that
including that,
later,
but it was
because
I thought
who
about that,
knows
but
how
I'm
that's
like,
gonna
it's
play
not.
out, you know?
Yeah, well, who knows how that plays out? Not all information. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
listen, we'll do a live. I think the next time we get together, we'll definitely do a
Okay.
live on a weekend during the day, and this way everybody can tap in with us. Because I think that'll be dope.
Okay.
Ashley, thank you. We appreciate it, of course, you know.
Always, always.
Absolutely.
Hollywood, Dr. Poole.
I'll, I'll
Y'all, look, that cute Hollywood divorce about starts off like a small town memory. Y'all know that song, Holly.
Oh yeah, yeah. What you know about that
Right.
Outcast and Lil Wayne? What you know about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I just did music therapy, a PowerPoint on that, a little quick thing in my elective I was teaching. I'm teaching pain management and we talked about that. But no, thank you all for having me. Like I said, this is just a great place for people to come hear sound feedback and opinions on topics that are important. The reach is reaching. So I thank the
And
good brothers of the Black Psychologist podcast, PCO and Proud, for having me. I was just telling my students about you guys and just the great work that y'all are doing as it's been created connections for me that I will always be grateful for. So until next time, y'all stay cool, keep moving how y'all move, and I will look forward to the phone call when we can meet again.
absolutely. Oh, conversation with the Kennys. Tell them where they can find you.
Absolutely. So you can definitely find me every other Sunday. Check Facebook, Conversations with the Kennys. We post all content there. And it's Kennys with an E. So KENNEYS. I know some people had mentioned that. But I am getting ready to start advertising on Psychology Today. So stay tuned with that to get some things going. But you all can follow me on Instagram for lifestyle stuff. Pool of Positivity, POOLE of
Talk about
Positivity on the gram, and then that will link you to other pages that I have. So thank you guys.
it. Jay, anything else before we get out of here, good brother?
Nah, just of course, want to thank everybody that's riding with us, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Wishing you and everybody else out there good mental health. Y'all be
All
safe.
right, later, bro.
All right, guys.